Okay, hi guys, and should I say hi Zihan? Good evening. This is our November week 3. Okay, how are you? There's only you today, currently. I don't know where's the rest. Okay, just a reminder, please fill in this form for your week 1 class because week 1 you weren't here. So please fill this up so that I can send you week 1's video. Okay, can you please do it now if you don't mind? Because I scared that you will forget later. Okay, please click the link in the chat and fill this up. I will send you week 1's video. Okay, because last week was week 2. Last week you were here, and week 1 you weren't here. Okay, Zan, can you see the link? Can you see the link? Can you fill it up for me? Please do it, please do it, Don't forget, because you paid for the class, you have to get all videos. I mean, if you don't watch it, it's okay. You can save it for later because I'm gonna put on the link. I won't remove. You can watch it whenever you want. Okay. So today's holiday, so I'm not gonna do a lot today. I'm just gonna chill a little. Okay, I'm just gonna chill a little because not everyone is here today. There is no use for me to rush. Okay, so let me repeat what we learned last week. We learned about flowers. Okay, flowers, they are the reproductive organ of a plant. Okay, so any plant that has flowers, they are sexual. They will do sexual reproduction. Do you remember what is sexual reproduction? Like okay, for example, pine trees. You know pine trees, conifers. Okay, pine trees. These are they are asexual. They have no sex because they don't have flower. Okay, they have no flower. They are just like bacteria. They just reproduce by themselves. Okay, but anything with flower, they reproduce sexually. Right, so in terms of flower, we have male and female. Okay, we have the stamen, which is the male, and you have anther, which to produce pollen. This is the sperm of a flower. And then we have carpel or the pistil, which is the female of a flower. We have the stigma. This is for the pollen to stick. Stigma, stick, for it to stick to. And then we have the style. Okay, not important. We have the ovary, which produce the ovule. You missed week 1, the first week. Yeah, first week. Okay, I'll send you the video later. Okay, so ovary will produce ovum, ovule. In human, we call it ovum, but in plants, we call it ovule. Okay, and of course, same thing goes to the guy. Anther produce pollen. In human, it's testis produce sperm. That's the similarity. It looks kind of same because flowers and humans is not so different. Okay, I hope you still remember this. And then we have pollination. Pollination is the sex of a flower, right? To transfer pollen to stigma. It's like transfer sperm to the vagina of a human, but this one is in plants. And of course, after pollination, you have fertilization, just like humans. And then how do they do pollination? They have pollinating agent. Right, so we have insect pollinated flowers. So how are the pollens like? They are colorful, fragrant, they are sticky, they are produced in small amount. And of course, we have wind pollinated flowers. They are the opposite, not colorful, not fragrant, smooth, large amount, they have long stigma that hangs outside the flower. Okay, one is to attract bees, one is to catch the wind. So they are built very differently. All right, and of course, we have self-pollination and cross-pollination. I think I mentioned this already. Okay, and just to let you know on a general knowledge, cross-pollination tend to produce higher quality plant. Okay, I don't know whether I mentioned this week. I mentioned this last week. If you cross two plants, there is a chance that you will get a higher quality plant. Okay. Do you eat durian? Jihan, are you a fan of durian? If you are a fan of durian, you should thank cross-pollination. It is because of cross-pollination they managed to make many different durians. You have D24, you have Musang King, all those they come from cross-pollination. They try to breed a type of durian tree with another type. They do it many, many times and they happen to find that, oh, this is Musang King and it's really delicious. I don't know, I hate durian, so I don't find any of them delicious, right? But if you do, then cross-pollination is a good thing. Okay, cross-pollination is awesome, because of cross-pollination, we have different apples, different oranges, different durians, different everything. Okay, it is because of cross-pollination we make many, many different species of fruits. Okay, and of course, fertilization, the pollen will stick here. Okay, and then they will grow a tube down to find the ovule, and then the ovule becomes pregnant. The female becomes pregnant. Okay, so when the female becomes pregnant, this is same as human lah. Pollen and ovule, when they combine, they become a zygote. Zygote becomes an embryo. Embryo is the seed. Okay, it's the 种子, is the seed. Same goes to human lah. Embryo is our seed. And then we do implantation. We plant into the soil. We plant into the uterine lining. We plant the seed into a soil. So it's very, very similar. Okay, and then ovule is inside an ovary. So the ovary outside will turn into a fruit. And the ovule inside will turn into a seed. Okay, and then of course we need to disperse the seed to far away so that they don't grow near parent plants and compete with the parent plant so that they don't die. Okay, if I'm an apple tree, I want my children to grow elsewhere. I don't want my apples to fall all on the ground and make them grow like 5 apple trees near me and we all fight for the same sunlight. That would be really stupid because I basically kill myself. Okay, so that will not happen. Okay, so anyway, let's go into, I think we have one exercise remaining, right? Oh no, I think I gave oh wait, where is it? Oh yeah, here. Okay, so the crossword, if you did not do, it's okay. Hopefully you did this. Okay, so number one, we do the across first. So number one, to spread out fruit, help seed to do this. Okay, like I said just now, if I'm an apple tree, I want my apple to spread at a different place. This is called dispersal. Okay, so where is number one? Number one is dispersal lah. But they want it in verb. So number four, a structure containing an embryo plant. It forms from an ovule after fertilization. Okay, so ovule will turn into a seed because inside the seed you have the baby, which is the embryo. So number four is your seed. Okay, just like our small baby. Number eight, the part of a flower that is often brightly colored and attracts insects. So the part of a flower that is bright and colorful, it's the petal. Okay, the 花瓣. So number 8 is your petal. This is quite fun actually. And then number 9, the cell that is formed when male gamete and female gametes fuse together. Same goes to human, it's called zygote. So number 9 is your zygote. Okay, zygote. Number 12, a mineral salt that plant needs to make protein and grow well. Okay, this is I haven't gone through this yet, but number 12 is your calcium. I can roughly tell you this lah. Okay, it's actually here. Oh wait, is it here? Oh wait, it's not calcium. It's this nitrate. Sorry, my mistake. Protein. We use this to make protein. So this is actually from week one. Okay, the lesson you missed. So this is actually nitrate. Sorry. Okay, plus they need calcium too lah, but it's not for this. Okay, this is nitrate. All right, so 15, fusion of male gamete or female gamete. Okay, the fusion, this is a long word. Okay, any fusion, sperm ovum fuse, this is called fertilization. So fertilization. Oh, damn, that's a long word. Okay, 16. A structure found inside the ovary, which contains the female gamete. There's only one female gamete called, in human, it's called ovum. In plant, it's called ovule. Okay, so I don't know whether you did this, but this is actually quite fun. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I just love crossword puzzle. Okay, number two, the transfer of a pollen from anther to stigma. Okay, bees will help them do it. Wind can help them do it. This is your pollination. Okay, you see all the words just fit together very nicely. Okay, number three, a type of insoluble carbohydrate stored in leaves. You learned this last year. Plants, they will store sugar. Okay, you see, glucose is like a plastic chair. You know those plastic chair you use when you're at a restaurant? If your plastic chair is everywhere, it takes up a lot of space. Same goes to glucose. So plants will stack them together, just like how when you keep your chair, you stack them together. So when they stack these glucose together, they will become starch. Okay, it's in rice too. So number three is your starch. Okay, that's a starch. Number five, a very young organism, a developing plant is inside the seed. Okay, the small baby when it haven't germinate, that's called your embryo. So number five, it's the embryo. You will call an embryo too when you are like this small, 15, 14, 15 years ago. Okay. Six, powdery grains that contain the male gametes of the plant. Male gamete is the pollen. Number six is the pollen. Okay, the pollen. Seven, a substance containing mineral salt that is added to the soil to help treat plants to grow better. Okay, this is very interesting. You see, if you have flowers at home, what do you add to the flower to make it grow better? Do you do gardening? You need to water your plant daily. Okay, maybe not daily, but some of them daily. So you water your plant, and then the second, what do you put? What do you put? You put fertilizer. You know, it's fertilizer, 肥料, fertilizer. You use this thing to make sure your plant grows nicely. Okay, this is why you also pee on your plant. Okay, I mean it's I don't know if there's a better way to put it. Okay, peeing on a plant is actually good for a plant because our pee is actually a type of fertilizer. Okay, so anyway, just a moment. Okay, anyway, let's go to the next question. Okay, a mineral salt used to make chlorophyll. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay, this is also in week one. What do you need to make chlorophyll? You need something called, what question is this again? Question 10. So this is your magnesium. Okay, go and watch my video if you need to. So that's a magnesium. Okay, plants, magnesium is one of the main ingredient for them. They need magnesium to grow. Okay, next we have the next one. A sweet sugary fluid produced by flower to attract insect. Okay, what makes a flower sweet? That is gonna be your nectar. Nectar. Not honey, not honey. Honey is when you collect the nectar into one pot. That's the honey. Okay, when it's in flower, we call it nectar. Next, male part of a flower in which pollen is produced. Okay, the tip of the stamen is called a anther. Like I said, it really spells like antler. The top of a deer is called antler. Antler. Sounds really similar. Next, the part of a flower that receives pollen grain, that's the stigma. And a structure containing seed, which develops from an ovary. So the thing that has your seed would be your fruit. This is the thing you eat. All right, hope you're okay with this. Hope you're okay with this. This is, I wouldn't say it's very difficult, but it's a bit, it requires thinking. Okay, these are keywords, Zan. These are the keywords that you should know. If you don't know any of this, that means you don't really master this chapter. Okay, you should know all of these words, okay, because these are keywords. Okay, moving on, shall we? Moving on. So we have done question 7. Okay, let's go to unit 9. Sorry, unit 9. Unit 2. Let's go to unit 2. Okay, this chapter is about plant adaptation. I would say this chapter is like a study, at least the first 2 parts. The first 2 parts, I would like to call it a study for fun chapter, because these parts, you can't study them all. What do I mean? These parts we are studying about we are studying about animals. What features do they have to survive in the wild? You can't possibly study all animals, right? If I ask you, how does fire ants survive in the wild, right? Because there are so many species out there, you can't possibly study them all. All right, but there are a few things that I think you should know. So just treat this like a general knowledge part, because I think this is rather interesting. Okay, first of all, what is adaptation? What is adaptation? Right. So, John, have you been to a winter country before? Have you been to a winter country before? Have you been to somewhere cold? I mean, we have been staying in Malaysia for so long. Okay. Oh, China. Which part of China? Is it the northern part or the southern part? As in, how cold was it when you went China? Which part did you go to? I went to Shenzhen actually a few years ago. I'm not sure if you know where is it. Okay, is it so cold that you need to wear like thick jackets? Because when I went to Shenzhen, it was okay. Oh, Hong Kong, Shanghai, okay, not that cold. Oh, Shenzhen is next to Hong Kong. Not that cold. Okay, have you been to Beijing? Have you been to Beijing? My friend has been to Beijing. In the winter, it's -4. Okay, Hong Kong is okay. Hong Kong winter is quite nice. Hong Kong, Shanghai winter is quite nice. It's like around 16, 17. It's like aircon room. So it's okay. Right. You see, we Malaysians, we have been living in Malaysia for the for our whole life. And you see, we already get used to the hot weather here, right? So you can say that we have already adapted here. So adaptation is the getting used, the 习惯, right? So you see, if I ask you to move to Beijing today, okay lah, wait. Oh, it's November now. Okay, it's winter in Beijing. Okay, if I ask you to move to Beijing today, you sure cannot tahan one because it's really cold. Like in the morning, it's around 3 to 4 degrees. At night, it's around -4, -5. Sometimes we go to -10. Okay, maybe it's not too bad. -3 is still okay, still can survive. If I ask you to move to Russia, as in Moscow, if you go to Moscow, at night it's around -20. It's really cold. Hey, our fridge freezer is -17. Russia is -20 something. Okay, so if you go there, you won't get used to it. But if you stay there for like 10 years, then maybe you will. Okay, we say that you adapted to the weather there. 适应, adapt. All right, so this adaptation is how animals do it too. You see, animals also need to adapt. Right? You see, the tiger has been living in Malaysia for thousands of years. For sure, they like the weather here. For sure, they know how to survive here because they adapted themselves. 他们已经适应这个气候了. Okay, you get what I'm trying to say here? So let's look at number 1. Every living thing has special features that help it to live in its habitat. Do you remember what is a habitat? This is called 栖息地. This is where an animal stay. Like the Malayan tiger, our Malaysian tiger, they stay in the jungle. Okay, in our tropical rainforest. That's the habitat. Okay, these features are called adaptations. All right, they have special features to help them survive. Like if you look at the polar bear, okay, the polar bear, 北极熊啊, if you look at polar bear, how can they survive in such a cold place? Because they have adaptations. They have very thick fur, they have thick fats, they hibernate during the winter. So they just know what to do. Okay, so these are called adaptations, 适应. Okay, habitat is here. A habitat is a place where an organism lives, right? Like the mangrove swamp, the tropical forest, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, right. I want you to pay attention to mangrove swamp. Do you know what is mangrove swamp? This is called 沼泽. Okay, a place where you don't usually visit because it's full of mud. Okay, 很多泥的, full of mud. And usually it's full of crocodiles too. Okay, please don't go to swamp for no reason. You have crocodiles there. Okay, this is how you die. So let's look at mangrove swamp. This is your 沼泽. Okay, can you imagine living in a swamp? It's not easy, even for plants. Why? Because it's really hot, because you have the sun, strong sun, and swamp is usually near sea. Okay, 很接近海. So these are salty water. Okay, these water, they are very salty. Do you think any plant can simply live there? What happens when you plant something into salty water? They will just die. And then you see it's all mud, 全部是泥, and the whole place is constantly in water. All right, so swamp is a very hard place to live for normal plants, but you have something called mangrove trees. Okay, 红树. So mangrove swamps are found along the coast of many tropical countries. Malaysia, we have a lot of it. Have you been to Kuala Selangor? Have you been to Kuala Selangor? Kuala Selangor is a full of mangrove swamp, and it used to be full of fireflies. I don't know whether you know this. Kuala Selangor. I used to go there for fireflies. Okay, this is really cool. You take a boat and you go out at night. You can see this firefly glow up in the dark. Okay, they really look like lights. Okay, but sad to say today if you go Kuala Selangor, I don't think you can see this thing anymore because most of them are all dead. Yeah, because of the pollution. These mangrove areas, they're being chopped down for houses. Okay, so it's very sad to see, right? But last time when I was a kid, I actually went there once. It's really cool. You can see all these fireflies. Okay, so mangrove swamp. Okay, so you see, normal plants cannot grow here. 普通的花草树木是长不到，植物是长不到的 due to the moving mud caused by the rising and falling of the tides. Okay, tide is your 涨潮退潮, high tide, low tide, the movement of the ocean. Okay, it's so salty, it's so muddy, normal plants cannot live. But mangrove trees, you can. You see, mangrove trees, they are very good at it. They know how to survive here. Why? Number one, okay, these are the features you need to know. Number one, prop roots. Okay, prop roots. What are prop roots? Okay, can you see the root? Usually the root is buried in the soil one. You just see the top of the trunk. But prop roots, you see like, roots just flying here and here and here like that. These are prop roots. They appear out of the soil. Okay, usually root is in the soil. This is out of the soil. Okay, a type of root that spreads out over a wide area deep into mud and hold the tree in place. So they just hold the tree in place. Okay, why do this? So that they can breathe. Okay, these are also breathable roots. Okay, these roots can breathe because they are now in air. They are now in the air, so they can breathe. They are not just in the soil. You see, most plants, they cannot survive here because it's full of mud and water. Roots cannot breathe. But mangrove trees, they have roots out of the soil, so they can breathe normally. You see, very smart. Okay, they just know how to survive here. And of course, viviparity. Okay, this is a very special feature. Do you see a problem here? If let's say I'm a mangrove tree, I have seeds, right? Remember just now, seed, I disperse my seed so that my next generation, my son or my daughter grow elsewhere, grow into another tree. You see, here's the problem. If I'm a mangrove father, if I'm a mangrove tree dad, I drop my seed down here, the seed will die. Why? Because this is all water and mud. They cannot grow. Before they grow out of the soil, they already die. So they have something called viviparity. What does it mean? Before I disperse the seed, I germinate it first. I germinate the seed before throwing out. 我让种子发芽了才丢出去. You see, this is crazy. Imagine Apple do this. You will see a baby apple tree inside an apple when you eat it. So this is how they do it. They will germinate it first. When the seed is like half germinated, almost become a baby plant already, only they throw it out, and now they can easily grow out of the soil. See, very smart. So seedling germinate while they are attached to their parent tree, grow to a certain length before leaving. So it's like your parents lah. You see, most animals, once the baby is born, okay, once the next generation is born, the parents will just let them be. But mammals like us, no, we nurse our young first. Okay, I'm sure your mom and dad is doing this to you. He and she is making you grow to like 20 something, only they let you be independent. Something like that, something. So this is like a mammal plant. They nurse you so that you grow into an adult before they let their hands go. Same thing here. So this is called viviparity. All right. Hey, these are just two. We have so much more. Okay. Number one, you can even say, can you see the leaves? Can you see the leaves? Mangrove, they are constantly under strong sunlight. So the leaves they are usually they have a very thick cuticle. Okay, you actually learned this last year. What is a cuticle? Cuticle is the wax on the leaf. Okay, they have thick wax. Why thick wax? This is to reduce water loss, reduce transpiration. Do you remember what is transpiration? When plant loses water to the surrounding, it's called transpiration. Right? So they have this thick leaf to stop this from happening. If you pluck a piece of leaf from these mangrove trees, they are really small and they are really waxy. You know waxy? You touch the surface, it's very, very, very waxy. It's full of wax. So this is what they do lah. Okay, so many things else. Okay, they have this prop roots. Hey, do you know what is something called pneumatophores? You will learn this in biology in year 10 and year 11. Okay, what are pneumatophores? Okay, these are another type of special root. These things. Okay, some mangrove tree, they don't grow their root out, but they grow their root into spikes, like spikes up from the ground. Can you see? Crazy, huh? What are all these things for? Okay, these things is also for breeding. They grow out of the soil They don't want to stay in the mud. They grow out of the soil to breed. Okay, can you see two types of root in this picture here? Can you see the spiky root? These are called pneumatophores. And can you see opposite? That's the prop root. That is the prop root. So you have two types here. You are not learning the second type because the word is quite hard to say, quite hard to spell. It's called pneumatophores. Okay, and then the opposite one is called prop roots. All right. If you go to Langkawi, I don't know whether you know this. Langkawi is full of swamps too. Okay, it's actually quite interesting because I actually went there. Langkawi swamp. This is one of the oldest swamp in the world. So can you see the prop root? Can you see the prop root? You can actually go kayak there if you have the strength lah. Okay, because I actually went kayaking there. It's really tiring, right? It works your arm. You have to kayak around, and the water is very shallow. I mean, it's safe here lah. When I went there was no crocodile. Okay, I see. These are prop roots lah. Okay, prop roots. This is your Langkawi mangrove. Okay, it's still undestroyed. It's still there. So thankfully, this thing is not being destroyed because most of the swamp in Malaysia is already destroyed by development, by pollution. Okay, because oceans are getting dirtier and dirtier, and we keep cutting them down. So you don't really see that many swamp compared to last time. But thankfully, Langkawi still has it. And it's really cool. It's really cool. Beware of monkeys though. That's all I'm gonna say. If you go to mangrove swamps like these places, you see monkeys jumping up and down, flying everywhere. Don't let them, take your stuff. Monkeys, they are known to be very naughty. Just be careful. All right, hey, this is cool. I mean, if you have not been to Langkawi and check the mangrove out, I think you should because it's really, really interesting. Okay, so these are mangrove swamp. Okay, these are adaptations. Without these, without prop root, without viviparity, without pneumatophores, without thick cuticle, these mangrove trees, they wouldn't survive. They already know how to survive. 他们已经适应了. Okay, they just know how to survive here. You put a coconut tree here, even a coconut tree wouldn't survive. Okay, so that's the meaning of adaptation. All right, so what about tropical rainforest? Okay, this is very interesting. Malaysia is full of this. Okay, Malaysia has one of the biggest tropical rainforests in the world. Okay, so tropical rainforest, this is your 热带雨林. You only have this in tropical countries. Okay, what is tropical country means? Hot countries like Malaysia lah. You go to Brazil, you go to Colombia, you go to Uruguay. Where else? These places, they have tropical forests. Okay, so the tropical rainforest is one of the most optimal place for plant to live due to warm climate, abundance of sunlight and water. Okay, so you see, rainforest is the best place to grow because the weather is suitable, the sunlight is suitable, water is suitable. You have everything for a plant to grow. So that's why you see tropical rainforest has many, many tall trees because it's the best place to grow. All right. It is also due to these favorable conditions. So many plants grow here to the point that the taller ones usually form a canopy, blocking sunlight from reaching the ground. Okay, this is a very good point. You see, Malaysia has 365 days of sunlight, right? We are not like America. America has like few months of sunlight and then they have winter. Malaysia, we get sunlight throughout the year, okay? Because we have so much sunlight, if you look up into a forest, you won't see sunlight. They are all covered by leaves. Okay, we call them canopy. Okay, we call them canopy. If you look up into a tropical rainforest, this is what you see. Do you see any sunlight? Not really, isn't it? It's like almost 100% covered by leaves. Because whenever there's a space, a leaf will grow there to get sunlight. So they will just cover. This is like competition. This is like competition. Okay, if let's say you are in... So where do you stay? Okay, let's say you are in KL City Center. Okay, let's say you go to Bukit Bintang. You will almost not see an empty shop. Right? If you go to Pavilion, pavilion, it is almost impossible for you to see an empty shop, because whenever there's an empty shop, someone will come here and open, because it's a very good place to do business, right? There's very strong competition going on. So you won't just see a shop leave there for like no reason one. Okay, empty shop, they constantly will be someone there. So this is the same thing. You see, when you have so much resources, when you have so much sunlight, of course, any place that has sunlight, there will be a leaf growing there. So when you look up, you will see like the whole thing is fully covered. You don't even feel any sun. That is what we call a canopy. Okay, canopy means roof lah. Canopy means roof. If let's say you're doing a party in front of your house, you will hire someone to make a canopy for you. Okay, so that's your canopy, right? Okay, canopy. What is that? Extend. What is this? Okay. Canopy. There. This is a canopy. Can you see? This is a canopy. So why do we call the forest a canopy? Because it looks like a roof. Looks like a canopy. Okay. Due to this favorable condition, so they usually form a canopy blocking sunlight from reaching the ground. So you see, at the ground, it's almost impossible for small plants to survive. Right? You don't see in tropical rainforest, you don't see many plants on the ground because it's impossible. It's all taken away by these big trees. Okay, it's like you have all these big bubble tea shop nearby you. If you open another bubble tea, you wouldn't survive. Right? It's the same there. So many shorter plants or germinating seed that fall to the ground die due to lack of sunlight. All right. So we have something called strangler figs. Okay, this thing is pretty awesome. Okay, what is a strangler fig? Okay, this strangler fig, they know they're not going to survive. So what do? They will grow around a tree. Oh, this plant is super awesome, I tell you. Okay, it's very brutal, it's very scary, but this is how they do. Okay, so first of all, strangler fig, they will start to grow around a tree. They will start to grow around a tree. They will start to form this web around a tree. And then what do? And then what do? They will suck their nutrient and water. Okay, and then eventually the tree they leech on will die. Okay, so you see, strangle fig, this is how they adapt. They know they can't survive by themselves, so might as well they grow on someone to survive. You see, this is called adaptation. Right? So strangler figs seed germinate high up a mature tree to obtain sunlight. Okay, so they borrow us. First of all, you have a big strangler fig, so they grow up there. When they drop down, they will drop near a tree, and then they will start grow around a tree. Okay, so the plant grows roots to the ground to get water and nutrient. Eventually, the plant grows big enough and kill the tree that's grown around. Okay, let me show you. This is our strangler fig. This guy is really cool. Okay, you see, in the beginning, right? It looks like this. Can you see? You have a normal tree. Okay, can you see figure 1? There's a normal tree. And suddenly you have a strangler branch. Okay, it just happens to grow there. So it grows down. It starts to, can you see figure 3? It starts to grow around the tree. And then eventually the tree starts to die because of there's no nutrient. And then you have figure 4. You form a full strangler fig, which inside is empty. Okay, inside the strangler fig is completely empty. So this is like halfway around. Can you see? So the tree is slowly being killed. Right? And then towards the end, I see this is how good they grow. Okay, so in the end, can you see inside being empty? Can you see inside being empty? So the inside is empty because the tree died. Okay, so this thing is like a sort of like a virus lah. Okay, sort of like a zombie virus. A zombie virus go into you, so it turns you into a zombie, and then the virus takes over, and then you lose yourself. Sort of like this. So a fig, they work something like this. Okay, so cool. Just look at this. Okay, they can just grow into anything they want. However your tree grows, they will just follow. They will just tie around a tree and slowly kills it from inside. Okay, so cool, huh? So cool. You might say, wow, sir, this tree is really nasty. Even so, even if you hate this tree, even if you hate this tree because you think that it's very brutal, you think that it kills other tree for no reason, but you have to know, strangler figs, they are called keystone species. Okay, can you please highlight this word? Keystone species. Okay, what is a keystone species? What is the meaning of keystone? Keystone means very important. Okay, keystone means very important. You can, okay, for example, a cereal is one of the keystone breakfasts. You see, many people eat cereal as breakfast, right? Maybe even if you do, even you do, right? So you see, keystone means very important. Okay, what does it mean by keystone species here? This thing is so important. It is responsible for many other types of plants living on it or animals living on it. When this strangler fig they die, maybe 20 species will die, right? It's like really important. Okay, it's like let's say I'm a kopitiam. I'm a you know what's a kopitiam? A restaurant. Okay, so inside my restaurant, I have many people working there. I have many stalls open there. So if I die, if I go out of business, everyone inside my shop will go out of business. So I'm considered like a keystone, right? So this is exactly the way. So keystone species is the one that helps the survival of a large number of other species. Helps the survival of a large number of species. A large number of species, maybe 20 species, they rely on me to survive, right? This could be the home to 20 other people, 20 other species, like maybe monkeys live here, okay? Maybe squirrels live here, maybe even some other plants they grow on this thing, who knows, right? So they produce fruit when other plants are not doing so, providing food supply to many herbivores. You see, this thing provides food for animals, provide other things. So this thing is what we call a keystone species, right? As nasty as they are, as maybe you think this tree is morally wrong. Wow, sir, how can this just grow onto another tree and kill the other tree? You have to know in the wild, it's just about survival. Nobody's right or wrong. Okay, they are very good at it and they are very important. That's all we need to know. All right, so this strangler fig, there's a reason we don't cut them. There's a reason we don't kill them because when you kill one of them, you are gonna affect other people. Okay, other animals might have no habitat, no place to go home. So more important than you think. Right. So anyway, so many other species would be affected if a strangler fig were to be removed. So if we kill it, other species will die. Okay. Let me show you strangler fig keystone species. There, right? There, can you see this thing? In many forests, the fig tree is considered a keystone species since during parts of the year, it is virtually the only tree producing fruit. That means during winter, all other trees, they just go into hibernation. They are the only tree making fruits. So you see how many animals depend on them to survive. Okay, very important. So, okay, what else keystones? Okay, what else keystone species do we have in the wild? Okay, some of them might be a surprise to you. Okay, like you see, a jaguar is actually a keystone, right? So you can say this, if you remove keystone species from an ecosystem, very likely you will create an extinction. You will cause other species to go extinct. So that's a keystone. Like you see, a beaver is a keystone species, right? You see, they look so cute, huh? Okay, and then you have something called ochre sea stars. They are a keystone predator, right? You might not see why, sir, they don't look important to me. Yeah, to you, but they could have other functions too. You just don't know them, right? So you can go and read this yourself. Okay, many keystone species here. Like you see, sea urchin is a keystone species. Sea otter, they are a predator of sea urchin. They they are keystone species. Okay, there you see. Sea otter protect kelp forests from being damaged by sea urchins, right? So if you eliminate all the sea otters, there will be so many sea urchins that they will damage the kelp forest. Okay, so this triangular fig is a keystone species. Very, very important. All right, so let's finish this and we'll call it a day. Okay, what about Arctic? Okay, if you go to Arctic, like near the North Pole, where it is very cold, so how do they survive? We have spruce tree, which is a type of conifer. Okay, what is a conifer? Conifer is like a Christmas tree lah. Okay, so this is your spruce tree. So how do they survive? Since it's so cold, since it's snowing. So number one, they have needle-like waxy leaf. Okay, the leaf is very thin. Why? Because if they have one big piece of leaf, snow will be accumulated on them. They will accumulate snow and it will make the tree so heavy, the tree will tumble, right? But you see, if my leaf is like needle, the snow will just fall down. They will not support the weight. You see, very smart. And they are waxy, full of wax, because they need to stop water from losing. That's why they don't lose water, right? Because in winter, the air is very dry. This is to reduce water loss, as groundwater is usually frozen. You see, they can't get water in the winter, so they have to stop water from going out by having this waxy leaf. They are tall, narrow, sloping branches. What is sloping branches? You see, they grow this way. Your Christmas tree will grow this way. Even you, I mean, you know, a Christmas tree will grow this way, right? So why? This is to prevent too much snow buildup, which might break them. Snow can easily slide off. It's the same reason why you look at Western houses, they have sloped roofs, so that the snow can just run off without piling on the roof and break them. Okay, and other examples, a weed. Now, weed is your 杂草. You see this thing everywhere. I mean, if you have weed in your garden, it's bad news. So a weed is a plant that grows between crops and compete for light, water, and nutrients. There you see. So whenever you are planting, let's say strawberry, you always have to watch out for weed, because weed can grow everywhere and they will just ruin your plant, right? And then they are annual plants, germinate, grow, and produce seed and die in less than a year. So 1 year they will survive, they will have a cycle once, and then they will just die off. Their seed can survive for a long period of time in an unfavorable condition, dry and extreme climate. Let's say if the place is very dry and very hot or very cold, the seed, they don't just die, they just stay around and survive until when spring comes, when there's suitable temperature, when there's water, they will start growing again. This is why weed, they grow everywhere. They will just get blown by the wind, they will fly everywhere. Even if you plant something at home, let's say you plant chili, you have a small bucket of soil, you are growing some chili. For some reason, few months later, when your chili is growing healthily, you have weed down there, right? Out of nowhere, they will just grow because they just follow the wind. They drop onto your soil, they start growing. They will compete with your chili for sunlight and everything. So your chili will die off. So this is why, as a farmer, you always have to watch out for weed, and you have to kill them off before your crop is affected. You will lose a lot of money. Imagine you're planting coffee. Imagine you're planting tobacco. You know tobacco? 烟草, the one that used to make cigarette. Okay, you'll be making a lot of money. So now when there's weed growing between your tobacco, the tobacco plant is just going to die and you just lose money. Serious issue. Okay, so as you can see, these are plant adaptations. Okay, I don't care when it's too hot or it's too cold or it's too salty. Somehow plants will just find a way to survive. Okay, what about hot weather? What about desert? Who can survive that? What's their adaptation? See, exam will ask something like this. Okay, so you can't possibly study them all, but you do have to use some common sense. Okay, so you know what? I think I'm going to end my class here. Okay, thanks for coming. Next week, we're going to animal. Okay, so have a happy holiday. Okay, I will see you next week. All right, so that's all for today. See you next week. Good night. Bye-bye.